meat and curry, I'm your man. Cause how we all lose it is a mystery. It's like the changing of our wardrobes from a dire history. But it's the one making us not stop. 50 kilograms is all we've got to drop. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Morning, gents.
Morning.
Today we've got a guest on from the sunny valleys of Bromley, Chris Hall. Chris, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, thanks.
It's all good morning.
And we've also got the father of the Bobcat, the father of a 6-year-old boy, Bob Cooper.
It's looking good this morning, the Bobcat.
You just won't listen to that voice. It's like going through puberty again. For the context of the listeners, it's 2:30 in the afternoon as well. So, Chris, let's go back through kind of the history. You've never been a big fella, though.
No, not when I was at school and growing up, and I played like ridiculous amounts of sport. So you get away with eating and drinking almost what you kind of want, don't you, when you're sort of 17, 18 and playing sport and that. But then you go off to university and suddenly you can only do one sport because it's all on a Wednesday afternoon and you're drinking 20, 30 pints a week, eating whatever you want. Like, so that soon catches up with you. I've had a few injuries that have needed surgery and things like that. So slowly but surely it all sort of catches up if you're eating rubbish and drinking rubbish and not being able to do the exercise.
Let's go into them injuries, because I'm in a right old pickle at the minute with a couple of injuries. And talk about your kind of weight gain, because I want to know how much damage I'm about to do.
So, I mean, what have I had? I've had knee surgery, groin surgery, then ankle surgery. So I've done all three over the last, I think about 5-6 years. I'm trying to think, maybe it was a little bit longer for the knee. But the issue with me is I've never had the greatest diet, as is no huge surprise to anyone who knows me. But I could just about get away with it because I was, training for football a couple of times a week, playing over the weekend, at one point playing on a Saturday and a Sunday. And you could just about get away with it. But then suddenly you have an injury and you end up in surgery and it's going to be 4-month recovery or something like that, by the time you've done all the rehab and actually back to, I just carried on eating and drinking the same stuff. So, if I wanted to get a takeaway, I get a takeaway. If I wanted to go out on the beers, I go out on the beers. Like, didn't really give it much thought. Next thing you know, you're 5 kilos heavier. And then I found that I just got more niggles, more injuries, and I wasn't able to do the exercise to the same kind of level, but never really made any effort to change anything sort of diet-wise what I was consuming. It was still far too much, far too often, and the wrong stuff, basically.
Let's go into the hip injury. What did you have wrong with your hip?
No, it was groin. It was
groin, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So I had basically it's like a sports hernia in the groin. Yeah, it was a weird one because all the pain was in my stomach, which was a bit random, like lower stomach. So I was took about 6 months to work out what it was. Which
is that the one that goes into your balls as well?
Yeah, like the test for it. Oh dear, the test for it is basically had to lay on a surgeon's table, starkers, and he basically
legs up.
They weren't up, they were bent. Yeah, and he basically has to test that area, making you cough, and he can feel when you cough in like the top of the groin and that sort of area, like whether there's this particular problem. And I was like, this is a low point, but yeah, it was needed because without it, he was the bloke who basically took over from the guy who discovered this injury because it's quite common in footballers apparently. And then I had to have surgery, and that was like 6-month recovery to get back. And then I had ankle about 2 years ago, and before you know it, there's probably like 18 months worth of recoveries. And obviously when you've got the injury, I wasn't then playing the sport either while I'm trying to work out what the injury was. That took me like 3-4 months to actually go and get that to the point where I'm having the operation. Suddenly you're looking at like 2 years of pretty much like pretty stationary life, having gone from playing sport fairly regularly. And yeah, just noticed the pounds really piled on.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like the little things. I mentioned at the minute, and I will jump into anything. That's why I keep getting more injuries. So walking a marathon, running a marathon, running half a marathon and walking the rest. All that, I had loads of injuries, my hips and everything, that sort of stuff. But when you get to the point where you actually can't do anything. I'm a month into not actually sweating at any point, and then your brain starts going, and then you start eating loads. And it's just like a constant cycle of self-destruction, isn't it? And then I start boozing because I need to get some sort of like
release.
Yeah, it release maybe a bit of adrenaline or something like that. But
the problem you got is like the heavier you are, the more injuries you pick up when you're trying to do the exercise, right? Like I know, like the bloke basically said to me, the surgeon basically said to me, "You're not to play football again until you lose like 20 kilos, something like that." And I was like, right. And that was before the surgery. So I then put on however much in the intervening period post-surgery.
And that's because of your groin injury, right?
That one was ankle. That was ankle. He was like, your ankle's like so hard to heal up because you're always using it. Like he said, certain other joints, you can kind of immobilize them a bit and get away with it. But with your ankle, you're always, either walk on it, even when you're not playing sport, you're using it a lot. So he was like, you've got to, if you ever want to go back to actually playing football, which is how I did it in the first place, like you've got to lose like a lot of weight. He said, or it just won't hold up, and next time I'll be fusing it together for you, and then you definitely won't be playing. I was like, all right, cheers. And that's the issue. It's like the more you weigh, the more these injuries happen when you try and go back to the exercise. So it's like a constant, like you say, catch-22. You weigh too much, but you want to try and do some exercise or some exercise you actually enjoy to lose some weight, but then you go and get injured, and then you're completely the other way.
Let's talk about your kind of peak. Where did you get to weight-wise?
Physical peak.
Yeah, so
you were looking your best, arguably.
So I got to about 118 kilos around mid-April this year. I'm 5'11".
5'11", okay. Is that what?
So I'm, let's put it this way, I'm sort of, yeah. maybe 5'10". But that was putting me quite sort of 40, 42 inch sort of waist jeans. That sort of thing. For my height, that 118 sort of kilos wasn't being held particularly pleasantly. It was all sort of stomach, hips, everything was there really. Like face as well. Obviously, you can't hide it from anywhere, but as in like the main bulk of it was sitting right where your spare tire job.
What was the kind of point where you're like, right, I've got to get my shit in shape? And what did you do?
There's a couple of things really. I mean, the obvious one is I get married in March. So I was like, got to, I don't want to be standing up there, in the state I was, in my opinion. So I was like, right, I need to, do something about that for starters. Like, I didn't want to have those photos and look back and go, I wish I'd spent 6 months getting myself sorted out beforehand, kind of thing, for the rest of my life.
Thing is, it's easier said than done. That though, like sometimes I would find I spend more time like procrastinating and thinking about the photos that might be coming up than actually put my head down and getting something sorted. And then the closer you get to it, you bear your head in the sand, and then on the day you just feel like
I tried to lose a load of weight. I think I lost like over a stone, but which isn't enough. So I just chucked a load of money at a really expensive suit. Well, if the arms are right, I'll get away with
it. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. To be fair, I might end up resorting to that. But yeah, that was one part, and that's like an external kind of motivation, like a date in time where it's like, okay, ideally by this point I want to look or feel a certain kind of way. But then also I just felt like, I'm being completely honest, sleep wasn't great. I felt myself constantly tired, trying to like concentrate at work and get stuff done. I just felt lethargic the whole time, to be honest. Like you said, I've not been a massive bloke. So I think my body didn't react very well at all to having put on 20, 25 kilos over the space of a year or two, a couple of years. Just wasn't reacting well to it.
What fat man symptoms did you get? Were you getting out of breath, that sort of stuff?
Yeah. All that kind of stuff, like, go upstairs and I'm out of breath, like just basic stuff. I played a little bit of that football on the 5-a-side, 7-a-side, whatever it was that you've been doing. Like, I was getting knackered after like 2 minutes, and it wasn't like that was intense football.
Man, be fat.
Yeah. Like that's
not intense.
That's not intense football. Like, yeah, I mean, you look like Maradona there compared to something, but like I'm absolutely blowing after like a minute or two, and this is ridiculous. Like, I used to run cross country for school when I was like 13, 14, God's sake, and now I can't like can't go to the other end of a 5-a-side pitch at sort of what is a very slow, even if it felt like a lot of effort, pace, without blowing. I just like, this is ridiculous. But just the other stuff as well. Some of the stuff that you lot mentioned in the very first pod really made me laugh, because it was absolutely right. Like, you know, you got to think about what colour clothes you wear, because you know if you're sitting down, you're going to get the under boob sweat or like you suddenly you have to think about all that sort of thing. And I was just like, this is silly. Come on, like, it was just, I felt so conscious.
Was there a particular fat moment, Chris? Like, a moment in time happens, you think, oh, I'm big now.
I mean, not a specific moment, but I was rapidly running out of clothes.
Yeah.
That I could wear. So I basically resorted to just double XL M&S t-shirts. You know, nothing wrong with them. Nothing.
But there's nothing wrong with stuff like that. But it's when you pretty much have cornered yourself into having to wear stuff like that, which is almost exactly where I am.
Suddenly,
not having the variety, as we mentioned earlier in this.
Variety Bob.
That's
it. One of my favourite Bobs.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, suddenly it's like, I've got an actual client meeting at work, maybe somewhere a little bit more formal, if that's the right term. And it's like, okay, what have I actually got that I can still fit into that's smart, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm having to wear, instead of wearing a shirt, I'm wearing a polo shirt, because that was easy. I'm putting a jumper over the top of it, even when it's not that cold. Because the shirts, if I sit down, like, I'm worried a button's going to go and do me client in the eye, you know, like it's going to shoot off. And
I'm in that world at the moment. And, it's not good. Like, I'm sitting down, the buttons are just like that. And I'm conscious that people can just smell belly button. Not on.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah, so that was the point when I was sort of like, I've really got very limited. I've got two choices here. I can either go and buy a whole new wardrobe designed around the fact that I'm now 115, 120 kilos.
You don't get many good clothes at that size as well.
That's the other point as well, because like I mentioned, I'm not massively tall, so mine is very much sort of stomach heavy when I've put on weight. It's like stomach and hips. So try and get a shirt in like double XL or something that fits the stomach, but then doesn't have sleeves that make me look like ridiculous, or shoulders that come out, 4 inches past each shoulder, and it just looks like your clothes just don't fit, even though technically it's the only thing you can get around the derby. It's not. That was a real struggle. So I was
my friend.
So I was like, I need to do something. So the choice was, spend a load of money on clothes or spend a load of money on a PT, and I went down the second route, I'm pleased to say.
I'll tell you what I've noticed with a shirt recently, actually, just pitching in with the shirt situation. So I'm back in suits. After a full day, when I tuck your shirt in a suit and that, and then it kind of just weighs me down. So like, because the shirt pulls on your neck, if I tuck it in too much or too tight, I feel like my derby just pulling it down, and then your neck's kind of like, do you know what I mean? It's like pulling the top down. And I feel like I'm walking around London like, no, it hurts.
That's what's going to make us go viral on TikTok. That little video there.
There you go. That's my input for today.
I hear you though. I do hear you. I know what you're talking about. You tuck it in, and because the derby's sticking out of it, you really have to like fold it under it to tuck it into the trousers. Like it does like get quite tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then when you lift up, it untucks. So you had that kind of realization moment where you're like, look, I need to lose some timber.
Yeah.
What was the plan? How did you attack it?
So
did you fail for a bit?
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. Like I've had PTs before. I was like, I'm going to start and just give it a little go myself. But I soon remembered why I've always struggled with that. And that's just, if I'm just accountable to myself, I don't make good decisions. I'm like,
I asked someone recently about that. I just some advice on like the losing weight thing. And the one thing is that person said was just, you need to make yourself accountable. You need to find a way to make yourself accountable to someone, to somehow.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think I could say to my missus, can you try and hold me accountable? But that's just going to end in tears for both, like, because I'm going to want to, I'm going to want to pick up a bag of crisps or something, and she can say, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm going to be like, what are you saying? Like, it's all going to, sort of thing that I don't really want to put that on her either. Like, it's not her responsibility to to make decisions for me because I'm not mentally strong enough to make them. Like,
Yeah.
so having someone who I don't know, or at least I didn't know, like knowing I'm going to have to stand on a scale and, you know, I'm meant to be logging what I'm eating, all this kind of stuff. Like it just makes me, I'm quite, if I feel like there's someone waiting for me or there's someone at the other end, I'm far more likely to stick to something if it's just me.
Yeah.
I can say like, oh, I'll get up and go to the gym at 7 a.m. or whatever. And I might do sometimes. Yesterday, I actually went for a 5K run, which is like the first one I've done since lockdown. But like, that wouldn't have happened 3 months ago. I'd have been like, oh, it's 7 a.m. I'll still, you know, I'm working from home. I can get another hour in bed or whatever. Like, it just would have happened. I know it would. But when I've got a trainer waiting for me, I'd never leave someone just standing around and not turn up.
I'm the same as that. I'm a bit of a team player. I wouldn't let a team down, but I'd happily let myself down.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, completely agree.
I've been trying to get the motivation to get to the gym in the morning, and I've done it probably once in the last month. Once I'm in, I'm working out. But having the thought of letting down a PT, I'd probably turn up half an hour early just to make sure I'm not late for them and do a much bigger workout or do whatever I need to do. Yeah, I completely resonate with that. So what's the PT done? Has he done diet plans, everything?
Yeah, so I went to a company that I'd seen a lot about, like it's expensive. I'm not, you know, not going to bullshit anyone. It's pricey. Went to a company called Ultimate Performance. I think I got like 4 or 5 London gyms actually, and they got some in Manchester, like they're worldwide, or LA, Dubai, all that kind of thing. But basically, it's a very intense sort of program. Initially, I signed up for 12 weeks. That's just about coming to an end now, and I will probably extend for another couple of months. But basically, yeah, it's both. It's very nutrition and training kind of focused. So it was 3 times a week in the gym. It's now 2. We've now dropped it down to 2 to try and extend the period of time that we're sort of working together, kind of thing. And then, yeah, very nutrition sort of focused in terms of first few weeks. I mean, it's quite tough, but first few weeks, it might have even been the first like 6 weeks. It was brutal. I didn't touch, or wasn't meant to touch, a carbohydrate at all. You know, when you consider like everyone loves their pasta, rice, bread, potatoes, all that kind of stuff. It was really tough. Like it was, because if ever you want to go and pick up food on the go, try and not get a carbohydrate in a meal that's prepared for you, right? So if you go to any stand, any market, like just almost impossible. Like,
yeah, I've done it diets before. Yeah,
it's
like eating chicken out of like Marks and Spencer's out of the pack.
That's the sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, I tried to do stuff at home, so I'd try and cook up stuff at home, like, and take it into work, because I was like, if I go and wander to M&S or Spitalfields Market or whatever, like that's when I'm putting myself in the lion's den choice wise. Like,
yeah, I do a PSL of places I can't go if I'm on a diet, and the supermarket's terrible because the Percy pigs start talking to you. When I did the Dukan diet, I remember being like day 4 of just eating chicken, and this hedgehog in Tesco's was calling me the birthday cake. I caught myself like just staring at it, and then it must have been like 2 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I've got to get out of here."
Yeah, like, this is why people say about prep, because let's be honest, this podcast wouldn't exist if we were all really good at making decisions on our own when we're faced with a choice between good or bad kind of thing. Like, we don't do the right thing often enough. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about losing however much we need to lose. So yeah, it's very heavy on the protein and veg basically. So I've had a lot of meals of grilled chicken or steak or whatever with broccoli and carrots and blah blah. It's not exactly the world's most exciting diet, but it's amazing.
So we've all done, like, me and Ian have done a lot of diets out back in the past as well, but it's the longevity of it. If you had to do that for if someone said do it a week, like, even that's tough, but you kind of go, right, well, it's a week out of normality, but then like 6 weeks of that is
6 weeks. It might have even, to be honest, it might have even touched 8 weeks. I can't really remember. The point was, the way I looked at it was, I was doing it and I was training and I was stepping on the scales and I was seeing big difference. Makes me go, okay, this is working. And also, like, the amount of water weight you lose was insane. Like, obviously, everyone used to think it was if you're eating fat, you're going to get fat. It's sugar, it's carbs, right, that do that to everyone. I'm not saying, eating lard, like, it's a good thing, but my point being, people tend to overeat on the carbohydrates, right? Pastas, rice, potatoes, breads. Everyone loves all that stuff. And then when you store an extra, I think it's something like an extra gram of carb, you store an extra 3 grams of water. So
that's why you always shift that loads of weight if you go on diets in the first week or so.
Yeah, so
I
the
think
week
it's
of
stone if I do that in a week. Just
exactly that, because your body stops using what you're eating in terms of carbs for energy, and it goes, well, where am I going to get that from? Oh, well, you've stored 2 ton of it in the last 6 months around your waist, so let's start using that. Which is why you start feeling rough about 3 days in, because your body's like switching between sort of fuel sources, if that's the right term. You start feeling rough, and then you come out the other side of it, and all of a sudden, like, yeah, you're pissing like racehorse, like just constantly needing toilet because your body shift, all this water's being released, and suddenly you, like you say, you lose like a load of weight really quickly. And I found that really motivating. Like, I enjoy lifting weights, and that's what this training program is all about. There's no like cardio or anything like that, certainly not in the gym anyway. And yeah, I enjoy lifting weights. I was lifting weights, sticking to this sort of diet, which was tough. And did I manage to stick to it 100% for 8 weeks? Probably not. Like, but was I about 90% there? Yeah. Like, there was definitely entire weeks go by without touching any of those sort of things I just mentioned around carbs. But when you're stepping on the scale and seeing, oh, great, I've lost 3 kilos this week. Like, that's like over half a stone. It's like, okay, like, yeah, it's motivational, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I did a diet a while back, which was you're not allowed to eat anything that has been changed. So chicken would be fine, veg would be fine, pasta not fine because it's been changed, rice fine because it's unchanged. And that was the best diet I ever did, because it was like you're cutting out anything processed, like chocolate bars or anything like that goes. Anything pre-made is all that, you can't do that. So you're just eating unchanged food. And I always go back to that. The first 3 days that you mentioned there is such a funny kind of period, because I gave up cigarettes. So I was smoking about 30 a day. And I was smoking from the age of about 14 onwards. And yeah, I remember signing up for boxing. They made me do 3 rounds on a bag, 3 2-minute rounds. And I couldn't breathe. Like, it was as if the whole world was in my chest. So I just went home, stubbed the cigarette out, and that I went to my missus, I'm never going to smoke again. I haven't smoked. But that first kind of giving up period, I have the exact same sensation if I go on a diet for the first week. It's giving up sugar, giving up this sort of stuff. You do 3 days without sugar, you start getting aggy. It's like an addiction, you give it up. The amount of people that do a diet in the office that go, oh, it just wasn't with me, my body wasn't used to it. They never get to that point in nirvana where you're like, actually, this feels great. And now I'm sleeping better, I'm feeling better, I'm doing everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's so easy to break in them first 3 days, 4 days. And I've done so many diets now because I'm such a self-destructor. I keep going back to it. Now I'm getting addicted to this like first week thing. Well, let's just put through the pain, eat a load of chocolate, do it again.
yeah. That was the first couple of months, and then I'm allowed a bit of carb and whatnot now. Like, but even that sort of, some sweet potato, bit of white rice, that kind of thing. Like you say, not processed carb like bread or bread being an obvious one.
Yeah, I always remember wraps being the biggest kind of false advertisement, because I worked in Subway, right, and they years and years ago they released all the calories.
Yeah.
So we had to update all of our menus and everything. And I remember looking at their normal kind of 6-inch bread and then looking at a wrap, and the wrap had twice the amount of calories because it has no yeast. So it's just flat bread. So there's twice the amount of flour in there. And everyone goes, oh yeah, well, I'm having a healthy wrap. It's like condensed bread. It's like the worst thing you can eat. And everywhere you go, there's like, eat a healthy wrap. Oh, I've had a wrap, I'm healthy.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like, the bread's such a killer as well, because everyone loves a sandwich. It's so easy to do. You just, you got sliced bread in your bread bin. You cut the slices out. 3 minutes later, you got a meal. Like, that's, yeah.
I make everything into sandwich form as well. If I get a curry, I will put the curry in the bread and make a wrap.
Little naan bread number, yeah.
Everything. It's because I was a sandwich artist. Probably the best in the business, but
Hold on, can we just pause there? I was a sandwich artist.
That's what your official job title on Subway is. Yeah.
Quality.
I saw that. Nando's do the same. I saw that the other day. It was like a food engineer. I was like, oh, come on. Come on. You just pop some chicken in a bun. Like, let's chill out.
I've seen a freshly made sub being made well, though. That's art.
Look, it's in your system now. That's art.
That's it. Looking to get sponsored.
Oh,
on
it's a
Subway.
fucking bollocks.
Yeah. Subway, eat fresh.
I tell you what Subway do well. You know the little tiny what's the potato thing? Not a rosti, a hash brown. Yeah, the little mini hash browns I get from there. Ooh,
Yeah.
very touch. And the white chocolate and macadamia nut cookie is delectable. What a great time.
When you work in it, you have to get in there like 2 hours before it opens to cook the breads. But the first thing you whack in is the cookies, and the smell of that running around that shop, unbelievable.
Yeah,
Not
not helping any diets, I'd imagine.
How many cookies did you whip away when you worked there?
No, mate, they're very strict on stock. You're allowed a 6-inch sub if you work under 6 hours. You're allowed a foot long or over 6 hours. But you'll have to put anything you want in there. So instead of veg, I used to put veggie patties. Okay, so Chris, you went to the PT. Let's talk about the actual PT himself.
Yeah.
What's the story? Is it female? Is it male?
No, he's male. Chap called Reese. I think he's been there a while. Ultimate Performance. That's the impression I get. I haven't actually asked him, but yeah, he really knows his stuff. He's good at holding me accountable. Like, you know, I get messages off him during the day and stuff, and not over the top. He's not like, you know, messaging me every 3 hours like, what have you consumed or anything silly like that. But like the app that you get with it, I have to put in like a track, a bit like my Fitness Pal, basically similar sort of thing, so that he can have a look. And I get on the scale pretty much every day, which, being honest, I'd prefer not to, because you know, you kind of have like, you might lose a load one day and then the next day nothing really happens, and it's sort of like, but yeah, virtually every day. It's mainly he says it's so that I can see how you're kind of reacting to what you're eating. Like, if you know, if you do have a meal where you've had a shocker, you know, what does your body do? Does it just immediately like cling on to a load of water and whatnot and shoot you up, or are you now processing it a bit better because you're, you know, a lot lighter than you were and that kind of thing? So that's why doing that. But he's good at pushing me in the gym. Like, there's times where I'm like, mate, I cannot do another rep. Like, I'm in pieces. And he's like, no, you're doing another rep, and just gets me through it somehow. Yeah, which is interesting at times. I'm not gonna lie, I was doubled over the toilet the other week thinking I was going to throw up, but that was my own fault. I just I just hadn't eaten any breakfast, got there, and he was putting me through some serious paces, and we had to stop 10 minutes before the end, because I was like, mate, I'm literally gonna, like, you're gonna need to get the D through out in a minute. Like, you're just gonna have to give me a stop. All right.
And Chris, are you so obviously you've been on a nutrition plan with him. What's your relationship with alcohol like? Or what was it like? What's it like at the moment?
At the moment, it's definitely better than it was. Like, I like a beer. Like, you know, karaoke, as Ian mentioned, you know, I've been on a work lunch and had a few drinks and that kind of thing. So I still like to go out and have a few drinks. I'm a lot better at not casually drinking, just, you know, sit at home watching the football, I'll have a beer. Like, I've basically knocked that on the head. That hasn't really happened. And in general, I've tried to remove myself. I'm not good at making decisions like when I'm in the moment. Like, if I'm there and I'm at a mate's barbecue and everyone's having a drink, oh, come on, have a few drinks, like, I'll crack. And that has happened during this program, especially over the summer. So I try and remove myself from certain situations. If I'm not that bothered about going to it or whatever, I'll just try and step back. But I also tried to drive places, because, again, I wouldn't get behind the wheel of a car having had 4 or 5 beers. I just wouldn't do it, like, obviously.
Yeah, that's been my trick recently. It's just if I'm in the car, like, you still can't question it.
Do you treat yourself in the car because you drove? Get yourself a little wine gums or something.
I
will get jelly tots, but
do love a jelly tot, to be fair.
it depends. It depends if you've got to go to a petrol station or not. Like, my relationships with petrol stations are fucking diabolical. Like, I've got a pet pump, because if I go inside that building, I'm fucked.
You can understand why the UK's got an obesity problem and stuff like that, though, because if I look in Deliveroo around my area, there is not a single healthy option. There's not a single healthy option. If you go to a service station, there is nothing healthy on them shelves. Nothing.
I think convenience and health basically doesn't go hand in hand 9 times out of 10, right? So if you're looking for the convenience of someone bringing your meal to your door, the likelihood is it's not going to be.
Or if it does, if you combine convenience and health, it's usually twice the price.
Yeah,
twice the price, and doesn't taste how you're hoping it does.
My Fit Kitchen's just opened up near the office. Dreadful. the relationship you got with this PT, do you hate him a little bit? Or is it like a respect thing?
No, it's a respect thing. Like, don't get me wrong. It might be when we're getting towards the end of a session, I think I've got like one set left of something. I finish it and then he's like, right, we're getting on the prowler. You got to go up and down the track. There's definitely hate at that point. there's a strong feeling of like, F off, mate. Like, but then when I finish and I get up and down that track with the prowler, I'm like, I'm glad you made me do it. Because I'm very much like once I've done it, I feel good. Like getting up and going for that run yesterday morning, my head was like, what am I doing? Why am I getting out of bed? Like to go for, I don't do running, that's not me. But then I was like, well, I've said I'm going to do it, so let's go do it. And once I finished it, and once I cooled down and could breathe again, I was like, yeah, like I'm really pleased I did that. So now I'll probably do another one. I think I'll find it easier to get up and do the next one because I've done one and I've been like, yeah, that was good. I'm pleased I did that sort of thing.
I've got this tendency, right, with PTs where I like to test how good they are by trying to talk that much to get them out of doing things, to see if they'll get me, but like, just shut the fuck up and get on with it.
Yeah.
It's a horrible trait, but it's a bit like, let's see how good this fucker is. So I'm going, can you explain the science behind that? Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You get the ones going, oh, well, basically, it's all the metabolic pain. I'm like 15 minutes done, haven't done anything. The ones that really whip you into shape are the ones where I'm going, yeah, I'm actually paying for a bloke. I'm going to despise this fella, but he's going to get me into shape. He's not on my Christmas card list. But
from what I understand, and I could be slightly wrong on this, so if there's anyone from Ultimate Performance listening, knows this is wrong, then correct me. But I'm pretty certain these guys get paid based on results, not time on the floor.
It's a lovely sales pitch, that, isn't it?
So
lovely sales pitch.
They've got they're like, it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a lovely sales pitch.
It's a lovely sales pitch. I don't get paid comms until you lose weight.
Yeah, exactly that. They're all technically, I'm pretty sure they're all like self-employed to an extent. You can't train in the gym unless you're there with the trainer. It's pure one-on-one training. There's no.
Yeah. Into this place with Jazza once,
maybe. There's you mentioned Raw Fitness, right? They're like direct rivals. They'll be direct.
I used to do Matt Roberts. That was a direct. They were good though. He used to whip me into shape.
So you pay like an amount for X number of sessions at the start, and then you obviously use those sessions with your trainer. They allocate you a trainer who fits the times you want to train.
That is a genius. If that is true,
you do pay for time then, basically. Like what they're saying is total bollocks.
No, but if it's like
you're paying the company, I'm saying that what the trainer gets from that amount of money varies depending on the level of success they have with the client.
I understand.
I'm sure there's a minimum amount, obviously.
So do you have to log? So do you have to log your weight loss or whatever on some sort of central app or that's with?
Yeah, so the app, I have to put my weight in. I put my food in. I'm meant to put like, it links up to my watch or my Apple Health. I can't remember what it is, but so it registers my steps every day.
Yeah.
I'm meant to put in how much water I'm drinking. I haven't really been doing that, but I'm fortunate that I've always drunk loads of water, so I'm all right on that front. As you can see, I mean, this is the size of God knows what this bottle. Christ.
Nice has got one of them. Yeah, she's got
two. Yeah, got the time on it. Like, it's 8 a.m. Let's go.
Oh, you got one of them ones.
Yeah.
So I rattle through two or three of them a day when I'm at home, and then if I'm at work, I've got like the Evian bottle.
That's the game changer.
Get through 4 or 5. Yeah, I think the geezer seems to really care, like about. And don't get me wrong, obviously it helps you really care if there's finances at the end. We all work in recruitment, right? Like, you care far more about the jobs you fill, and there's some money at the end. But I think he does seem to genuinely care. So he actively encouraged me when I've hit certain like milestones, go and have a Chinese, go and, not a full on blowout. He's not talking about a whole day, when I've had Chinese for breakfast, lunch, 17 pints or whatever. But like, he'd be like, go and have a meal, whatever you want, don't log it.
What would you go for, Chris? Out of interest?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Oh, that's difficult.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, almost certainly Chinese, I think, would be my, if I was takeaway.
Yeah.
Takeaway Chinese, if I'm going out somewhere, more likely to go for a route.
Play that up, like what's your order?
What are the non-negotiables in the Chinese takeaway order for you, Chris?
So the starters are the main ones, to be completely honest. So, all your satay chicken, prawn toast, your chicken balls, spring rolls, all that kind of stuff. Like,
See, chicken balls nowadays, like I don't know anywhere that does chicken balls these days. That seems like that's like a died art.
I mean, that genuinely, I think you should consider putting the house on the market and move, mate, because they're get yourself to
Probably won't sell
Bromley.
it for much. If they have a decent Chinese round in wiggly, wobbly path wherever you live.
I just don't know anyone that does them anymore. No one seems like you can get the little shredded garlic and chili chicken pieces. You know, the chicken balls in batter, you know, sweet and sour situation. Not had that for a long time. Not even seen it on a menu.
There's plenty around Bromley way.
I don't order mains at a Chinese. I go starter and duck. That's it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that though, because there's so much fun things to choose from.
There's one down the road, Ian. You might have been like the Thai Elephant in Coney Hall.
Oh,
So
I
you
heard
like-
great things about it. Never been in there.
Yeah, so look, it's quite a funny place. Like, probably could do with a bit of a, you know, lick of paint, a bit of a, you know,
Very
upgrade.
authentic is the way.
Yeah. But it's basically, I think it's like $14.95 or $15.95. Just eat what you want, like all off the menu, have as much as you want. So I'd do similar to you and focus on starters, duck. But this one, you have as many starters as you want, then you go duck. Yeah, throw a main in, why not? Doesn't matter if you don't eat it, you're not paying any extra. So yeah, I'll always chuck a chow mein in or something at the end, just to, you know. Portions aren't huge because they know, but they're generally happy if you want to order another one.
So is it a Chinese or a Thai, or is it one of them? It's got a whole mix of everything going on with it.
Bit of a hybrid model they got going on. If you want a pad thai
Hybrid model, yeah, appreciate that.
get a chow mein.
It's
Yeah,
Asian.
Yeah. They basically
Probably got
got
katsu
British
curry
people.
knocking around in it as well. And had a bit of Japanese.
Throw it in,
Well,
yeah.
this curry's all right. What I like to do is prawn cracker and then make little sandwiches out of the prawn crackers. Because I was a sandwich.
Oh, what a sandwich artist he is. What a sandwich.
Yeah, what a wank stain. I like to just load them up. I use them as basically big spoons.
Yes, well done, Bob. That's where
That's
the
the hit that
sweet and
was,
sour comes in for the main. You dip it into the old sauce. That little crack at the start. Fucking hell.
The to be fair, just after I've had my feed off a plate, just sitting with a bag of prawn crackers and the curry sauce, just dipping and going to town is a great time. So Chris, what how much you've lost so far then? How's the success been going?
So I'm just under sort of 102 now. So I'm like 107, sorry, 101.7, 101.8. That sort of amount. So I'm down, what, 15, 16 kilos in basically 3 months, call it, give or take a week, when we were both away.
What's your goal?
So originally I said to him, you can get me to 100 kilos. I'll shake your hand, I'll be well happy, sort of thing. Now he's saying to me, there's nothing stopping you getting to 90. Like, you're not getting married till March, 7 months away. You could easily get yourself to 90. Then he was talking about low 80s. I was like, mate, let's rein it in a little bit. Like, I work better in small chunks. Like, I started at 118. He was like, well, when we get to 110, you can have a meal. Get to 105, have a meal. When you get to 100, go and have something. So I work better in those small sort of targets, So yeah, I'm hoping I can get to about, if I could get to low to mid 90, like 92, 93, another 10 kilos, something like that, I think I'd be pretty happy there. Yeah. And I think maintenance will be so much easier than actually trying to get there in the first place. That's why I put myself, like, in my head, I was like, I'm going to make the sacrifice now. Just do it for 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is. Maintenance will be a lot easier because I'll be able to exercise. Like, there's no way I could have done that run 3 months ago. Not just fitness related. I'm certain my knees or ankles or whatever would have caused me some sort of drama trying to do that. So yeah, the plan is hopefully get down to like low 90s and then fluctuate anywhere within a kilo or two of that for, well, the rest of time, something like that.
Are you going back to football, or are you like avoiding the injuries?
No, I want to go back. Mrs. is desperate that I don't, because ever since she's known me, she's just known me go and play football, get injured, and then be being carved open on an operating table afterwards. But I want to play. I see if I can play vets. I think I qualify for vets.
35, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether it's 35. Whether you turn 35 in that season, that's okay, or whether you already need to be 35.
There was something about the total age on the pitch, I remember.
Right. Yeah. So I haven't followed it. Thing is, because I'm getting married this year, like, realistically, I won't be playing much in the early part of 2024 next year I'm getting married, because I can't run the risk of catching a shiner or something like that, and like it wouldn't be worth my while the grief at home I'd get if I had wedding photos with a black eye or something. So realistically, it'll probably be next season. I'll be 35 anyway then. But yeah, I want to get back to it. I miss it.
If you played for a different club that weren't so hated, you wouldn't get that many injuries.
Yeah, but he wouldn't win much either. So
Woo!
Oh, me,
Gotta do
yeah.
more, he's gotta do more.
You know what happens, right? You play these lot, and I'll give you a little bit of context, right? Chris knocked 10 goals past me in 2 weeks, and I was a goalkeeper. He was a striker. On the probably 8th goal, we put the team that I played for on holiday. So we had a load of like, it was like old blokes and children that stepped in.
Yeah. No mercy.
They were useless, right? The team that I had was fucking useless. And these guys are top of the league, unbeaten for like 2 seasons, something like that. The 8th goal went in. I'm lying in some puddle of mud. They beat us like 9-0 and 9-0 back-to-back weeks, yeah? And he turned around and went to me, do you want me to call your brother at half time so he can give you a lesson on how to be a goalkeeper?
Oh, savage.
You know what's even worse, Bob, right? You go to their clubhouse, where I've had the best team I've ever played with this year in the twos. We were decapitating teams. We went over to their place. Then you go to their clubhouse, right? And they've got a song that they sing. We can.
We are running.
No.
And they stand on the table and they all sing along.
It's good clubhouse though. Got all the games on the old moody 3 o'clock. So,
Yeah. I do enjoy going down there, but there is every time I go there, there's that dark mind of 18-0. And I can't remember the last time we won at your place. Even we were 1-0 up this season.
I heard about this. Yeah. That was the day I was up there.
Yeah, saved a penalty, 10 minutes to go, corner comes in, Geezer knocks it in. I'm like, oh my God. Never had a win down there. Chris, this inspired me a little bit. Look, the whole routine that you're in at the moment is something I've done in the past. I've always felt great when I've done it. I think I need to get back to that now. That's definitely got me back inspired. The whole PT route, it's like a cost v reward base for me, where I've done so much dough and PTs. They've worked every time. Shout out Tommy Wilkes was probably the best one. Got on with him so well. I talked to him about life in recruitment. He went and became a recruiter. Then I banged on 3 stone when he left. Yeah, I think signing up for a PT is the way. I think I need to get back on it.
Yeah, it's good shift. What time frame's that in, Chris? That's like over 2.5 stone.
Yeah, it's about 3 months. So I started late April, so we're now early August. Yeah, there was a week or 2 off where trainer was away, I was away.
And you've done like 16 kilos in that time. Yeah, I weighed this morning, by the way, 162.7. So I've lost. Yes, what's that? I can't remember. It was about 5. It's about 5. Yeah, 5 or 6. Something like that.
5 off me. I was 157, I think, this morning. It's
got to start picking up the pace.
Yeah, I like this. I've been trying not to do carb only diet, protein only diets, no carb diets, because I lose it all and then whack it on quicker. So it's like a lifestyle change that I'm never quite used to. But
it's all about that. It's about getting in my opinion, the bit that's always hardest is getting the mindset of I'm accepting I'm going to suffer for the next however long it is, because I'm just going to have to say no to a lot of stuff. I'm just going to sacrifice loads of stuff that I would normally be like, yeah, I'm bang up for that.
Yeah.
Whether that be a night out, whether it be a takeaway, whether it be whatever it might be. But in my head, I'm like, it's not forever. And you think how quickly you put it on.
Then do you worry about putting it back on though, Chris?
Naturally I do, but I back myself to be able to maintain to a degree. Like, I'm not trying to be on the front cover of Men's Fitness, I don't.
No, yeah, of course.
No interest in that. But if I can be within a couple of kilo range, and also this has done is it shows me I know I can lose some weight quite quickly. So if I do have a bad month and put on a couple of kilos, like I know I can shift that reasonably quickly.
Yeah.
Tweaking diet and that kind of stuff. I just think we've all got mates who are, stick thin, or not stick thin, but like just wild classes, like just regular kind of size.
Don't need to put weight on.
Yeah, and we go out with them and they have the same 8-9 pints we do. And they grab a kebab on the way home. But I think their choices the rest of the time are a lot better. And that's where I think the difference lies between people who are a lot bigger and everyone has their indulgences for whether it's socializing or a holiday or whatever. But it's the rest of the time. Like, we're guilty when we're sitting around at home, there's nothing going on, of still making the choice of shit food or a couple of beers or whatever. That mindset I've managed to shift at the moment. Like, I've got no desire to sit at home and have a couple of beers watching the football on a Thursday
win.
night. Wow.
Mind you, football season,
That's
football
never
season
gonna be-
starts this weekend. No, that's going to be a toughie.
Yeah, it will be, but I don't at the moment. I've got no fear about desperately going back to boozing.
I've just done 5 weeks no drinking, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Like, because I was in a very boozy place, and then after Ian's wedding, actually, I just had 5 weeks off, and actually there was probably only 2 or 3 times I really fancied a beer in that time. Otherwise, I actually found it okay, and that's got me used to saying no to things now, missing out on all that stuff. So at the moment, I feel like I'm in a good place with not being bothered and committing to something and actually sticking with it. The problem is I'm just not finding the time to turn that into exercise, and then that's when the weight loss just isn't picking up. I was hoping it would be a kickstart, but at the moment, I'm just not finding a minute. Like, I've seen my PT once in the last 4 months, and like this week, I've tried to book in with man to cancel a couple of times because work's fucking mental. And at the moment, I'm in the headspace where I want to try and really kick on. I made another lifestyle decision this week. I signed up to a gym in London in the city that has a pool. So I did 30 lengths of swimming on Wednesday, which I was really chuffed with at lunchtime.
That's the content we need for the Instagram. That would have been incredible to watch. Swimming Bob, I want to see. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, backstroke Bob.
Yeah, backstroke Bob.
Did you jump in the same as you did the Cornwall?
No, none of that. It was very elegant. Step down the step.
Yeah. Swimming's great for you. Like, absolutely great.
Yeah, that's my
Less
plan.
likely
So
to get injured, right?
work now. We've got we get full healthcare, and then that pays 50% of your gym membership at Nuffield House. So I'm at Nuffield House in Moorgate. So it's 130 something quid. You get it half price, and then our work pays the first £50 of any membership as well. So I think I'm getting it for 16 quid a month.
Yeah,
And that means I can use the Nuffield House in Oxford as well. But the reason I've signed up there specifically is just because of swimming. I've just gone, well, it's low impact. I enjoy it. Like, it gets all your body moving. And so my lifestyle decision change this week is taking up the swimming at lunch. See if that helps. Because if I can't fit working out into my working day, then I'm fucked. At the moment, I'm getting home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night at the moment when I work in London. I'm working in London a hell of a lot, like 3 or 4 days a week. And I'm leaving the house at 5:30. If I don't fit a gym membership into that time, it's not like
It's the mental strain of everything at the moment. It's just, there's no way I'm thinking about anything else but work. And then when I'm getting in, I'm just like sitting there as a zombie, staring at the ceiling, stroking the dog. I need to get something where it's like either first thing in the morning, I just go get in the gym, do something. I'm with you, Chris. I don't like letting people down, and they're trying to earn a crust.
I need to be accountable to someone else. I've learned that over the years that I can't just be accountable to myself, because it just doesn't. I can do it for a bit. I can be like, no, I'm trying to be healthy this week or whatever. But if you want to make a big change, which ultimately dropping tens of kilos is a big change. It's not a quick fix. It's not going to happen over a week. Then I need that accountability long term. Yeah. So sometimes I have my session and we go in a meeting room and he does all the measurements. He gets the tape measure out around me derby and all that kind of stuff. But he'd have a good pep talk with me of like, you've come this far, don't blow it now. Like, don't revert back to.
Add the before and after photo. Are you going to be on some wall somewhere?
Yeah, I've had a load of before and after. They take photos every couple of weeks, so I've got my original to now. I don't think it would quite be postal worthy. Liverpool Street Station.
Yeah.
If you come in from as if you were heading up towards sort of Commercial Street, that kind of way, like where there's a KFC and a thingy on the high street. Yeah. You go down those steps, there's a huge billboard on the escalator, like as you're going down on where the wall drops down. That's Ultimate Performance. There's like load of like before and after photos on that. That's them. So I don't think I'll be on there anytime soon.
Let's get you on there, Chris.
That would be
you could do a video where you're singing a West Wickham song, couldn't you? That'd be nice.
Yeah. I'll have me top off, but my West Wickham scarf on.
Ultimate Performance song.
We love lifting. They've done a lot of photos. So I've got photos of where I was to where I am, but I haven't got the finished ones yet. Like I say, I'm gonna roll it for a couple of months, I think, just to try and get that final 5, 10, whatever it is, whatever I can shift And
Yeah,
that
nice.
should take me. I think I'll, if I'm doing 2 a week, and I think the extension is like 18 sessions or something, should just about take me up to just before Christmas, because I've got my my fiance's mum's coming over from Australia in a couple of weeks, so you know I'm gonna have a couple of weeks off work and not going up to London. So yeah, I said to him, I'm not really going to be around. So like that will be an interesting like test. 2 weeks of no accountability really.
Yeah, will you continue to do your runs and all that stuff that you've been doing outside of business?
I'd like to. That's why I started the run. So I was like, I feel like if I get myself into a bit of a mini habit over the next couple of weeks before they arrive, I'll still try and do that. Whereas I think if I was just starting like, oh, they're here or she's here, like, oh, I'll just leave it kind of thing. Whereas I'm hoping that now I'm like, okay, I'll go and do a few runs just to keep myself ticking over in that period. But it'd be interesting to see actually, because naturally I will have a couple of drinks, of course. I will, you know, we will eat out. You know, we're going to Bath for a couple of days, that sort of thing. So like, it'll be interesting to see where it kind of comes back to. But yeah.
Well, mate, it sounds like you're doing a great job. Thank you for coming on and sharing the love. Hopefully we can get you back on, Chris. Let us know how you get on. Let's get you on before your wedding and see what you got down to, how it all went. Also, we're looking at doing an event with as many droppers involved next year as we can. Event not been decided yet or defined, but are you up for jumping on board and
absolutely? On yeah, absolutely. Count me in. I mean, unless you tell me it's like bungee jumping or something, then yeah, I should be all right.
I'll go nowhere near a bungee.
Bungee jumping with a metal chain.
Yeah, it'd be nothing to do with the bungee.
Right, gents.
Wicked, Chris. Thanks for having me on. Chris, last question before you go, mate. Who's gonna get 50k first, me or Ian?
Oh, it's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say Ian, but let me caveat. I'm saying Ian because I've seen Ian just go like, he's very all or nothing. I think if he can get his mindset into I'm going all, like I've seen him before he's done his boxing stuff and he's like just not had a drink in like 4 months or something and boxing 4 times a week. If he can do that, I think him. If he doesn't, I could see the old tortoise and the hare scenario where he like shoots ahead a bit, but then you slowly but surely just wear him down. So yeah, we'll have to see. At the moment,
you've gone with Ian, which I'm not happy about. But
that's 2-1 now, Bob.
That's 2-1 to you in at the moment, yeah.
He's buying my merch, not yours. Just remember that.
Who's voted for who? So who did Gareth go for? I can't remember.
Gareth went for me.
Gareth and you.
So far for me.
So for you.
Have you tried the infamous steak flavoured KP nuts?
Have I?
Are they good?
Have I? Literally off the back of your podcast. Yeah, like I went in Tesco and I grabbed, mate, they're unreal.
Really?
Are they?
The danger is obviously, so I've scanned them in my app thing to log it, right? So like 30 grams is like 300 calories, sorry, 300 kilos. Oh. 30 grams like 300 calories or something. So it's like, you've got to be careful because it's a 300 gram bag. You eat that, you've done 2 days worth of calories. Like in one, and that they're that moreish, they could go in 5 minutes, no worries.
Bloody Nora.
So I had to like tape them up. Like I had to take some out, I had to tape it back down and put it underneath something on my desk at work. So I was like, I could easily just sit here like, you know,
savage.
But yeah, no, they're good. Although they weren't there in Tesco this week. I noticed that. They'd gone. I don't know if it was a special little promotion or something.
Someone left the bag on my desk. Greg Wareham. Bob knows him. Mystery KP nutter, diehard dropper. I didn't know who it was. I'm walking around the office going, who left these nuts on my desk?
What, you didn't open them?
No, they're still at home. I haven't opened them yet.
They're good on the protein front though. So if you can convince yourself to just have one sort of scoop, which is quite tough, I'm not going to lie, then yeah, you'll be all right.
Love that. Right, gents, been a pleasure. Chris, thanks so much for coming on.
All right,
thanks, mate.
See you later.
See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
We've got some diet plans, health scans, sugar bans, fitness fans, PTs, injuries, laying off the Chinese, ball games, gym chains, protein gains and skin tight tops, and we ain't gonna stop until we hit the 50k. Drop, 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 drop. No excess fat, no FAT, no curry bag, no guarantee. Rough or buff, lean on me. We'll end up as fit as a pig.